don't know me, my name is Michael Rubin, and I'm an active Green. I've been asked to introduce our guest speaker tonight, Samsarah Morgan, and I'll just say that she has been part of Occupy since the very beginning. She played an exemplary role in organizing the Children's Village and in other aspects of maintaining the camp when there was a camp. And she's going to be talking for about 10 or 15 minutes, and after that we'll have discussion, questions, comments. And I just want to say that what we hope to do tonight is to talk about what the Green Party can learn from the Occupy movement and what the Occupy movement might benefit from in learning about the Green Party. So with that, I'll give you our speaker, Samsarah Morgan.
So hello, and thank you very much for asking me to come speak with you. I was very grateful to get the call from Michael because about a month ago I was like kind of frantically wanting to do this very thing, which is to come and talk to this particular group about what was up with Occupy Oakland and see if we could do some strategy around hopefully what the end result of my talk will be today.
Could you speak up just a little?
I will do the best I can. Projecting. I've been thinking about what I wanted to say, and I want to give a little backstory about how I came to be involved in the first place. And I think the beginning of the story is the fact that I'm a New Yorker, born and raised. And thank you. My sentiments exactly. And I'm a relatively recent Facebooker, and like Occupy Oakland, Facebook has consumed my life. And back in September, there were rumblings over Facebook about this event happening in New York, where some folks were taking over a park and sitting in a park, and some mostly young folks were finding a novel way to present their distress at the way our country was going and their concerns about their future and being able to have a livelihood in this country. And I was captivated by them and how they were presenting themselves and how they were using the media to get their point across. And I was also startled by the fact that nowhere else in the world except on the internet or on Facebook that we knew anything about what was happening with them. I didn't hear them on the news. I didn't see anything about it day after day after day. I didn't see them on CNN. I didn't see them on MSNBC, which is supposed to be, you know, more liberal mainstream media, but there was nothing about them. And not until they were injured by police malfeasance that we even began to even begin to get the national eye in a way that was in any way significant. So I have been madly posting away on Facebook about look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is like amazing that this is happening in the middle of a major metropolitan city, and who else knows about it? I was very excited to consider that this movement was making its way to Oakland, and very much wanting to do whatever I could to help it flourish here, because certainly Oakland's a city that needs so much, and it's such a beautiful city, and it's a much maligned and misunderstood city. And in the early planning meetings, I got drawn in even further because there was some discussion about having childcare space or having, and being a licensed daycare provider for many, many years, I knew that one of the best ways that they could get into a lot of trouble was to keep using the word childcare. Because really, if you think the Homeland Security folks are tough, you don't want to deal with the Department of Social Services about who can or who can't use the word childcare. It's very, very rigid and crazy. So I really got very much involved because I was like, you need to stop using the word childcare. We need to call it something else. And looking at the fact of, okay, this is actually a demonstration, where is the place for parents in a situation like that? How can children participate? Led to me, again, reaching out on Facebook and hooking up with a good deal of like-minded people, mostly moms, and us all founding together the Children's Village, which was a beautiful island of tranquility amongst all that adult business. And I'm very happy to see my buddy Philo here, who's a major visitor to the village with his lovely family. And a reminder to me that the main reason that I was drawn into a more active role with Occupy Oakland has to do with children and their safety and children and their futures. So Occupy Oakland got started, and we all know that the first encampment was with us for maybe about a couple of weeks, a little less than a couple of weeks, before the first attack on it. And I'm trying to think as I talk, which is probably not the best idea, how I want to go from here, because there's so much, and what's going on with Occupy Oakland changes daily, sometimes on the minute. I can have a different talk about what's going on with Occupy Oakland second by second. The reason that I wanted to be here last month was with the inception of Occupy Oakland, I was really concerned how at first I really didn't see a big Green Party presence in it and around it. It seemed to me to be this wonderful, teachable moment that was starting to happen that would allow everything, a good deal of what the Green Party stands for and is working towards to really, it felt like a marriage made in heaven. What these young people were doing, and more, not just young people, and what the Green Party's been doing for how long. And at first I really didn't see that happening. Now I see a lot more people who are involved with the Green Party. But in the beginning I really wasn't, and it was really kind of disconcerting to me. And as I had conversations with various people, I think that there was a concern about like how the Green Party could participate and in what way and in what role. And that's why I was really like, well, let's start talking about that, because I think it's imperative that when you have a young movement like the Occupy movement is mostly spearheaded by younger people, it's imperative to have people with organizational understanding and movement strategy experience to not so much facilitate, but to be of assistance to them. And I come from very traditional African thinking, and so elders are important folks who have knowledge and wisdom, not to overtake what's being done, but to aid and assist what's being done. And it certainly feels needed. It certainly felt very needed. It's still needed right now. And that has to be done in a very gracious kind of a way, because nobody wants to feel that people are coming in from the outside of a thing and telling people what to do. But there is a way of graciously being of assistance, because what's being done in total, it serves the entire world, not just the city of Oakland and not just the United States of America. The Occupy movement is an international movement with everybody's shared energy being focused on improving the lot of every human being on the planet as well as every plant and animal on the planet. Bless you. How I feel that that could best be done is by as many Green Party members being as involved with Occupy Oakland as they possibly can, attending meetings, attending, joining committees or starting committees. It is the kind of group where one doesn't need permission to come in and work with others for whatever end that's positive. One doesn't need permission to join a caucus. One doesn't need permission to form a committee. The quote-unquote administrative work of Occupy Oakland is done in the committees and caucuses, and then there are proposals and other matters that are handled on a GA basis. But it's really the kind of thing where I personally started 3 committees that are all doing various things around the Parents and Children's Committee, the Children's Village Committee, the Decolonized Pregnancy and Birth Committee, all started by me. It's an amazing open skeleton where people can hang projects that they maybe have been working on for a long time and find like-minded people and move forward. This is not a group that's really interested in asking permission to do things. It's about going ahead and doing it. I think that's kind of a new paradigm. I think people are kind of waiting to be told what to do. And so you're going to be waiting a long time because no one's interested in telling you what to do in this particular construct. So, but I think that especially now when in Oakland the police department is becoming more and more aggressive, because the fact that most of the people who are actively participating in GAs tend to be on the young side, and young people are always vulnerable to police abuse. I know I'm the mom of 5 sons, and I've watched very clearly how the police, when they don't think anyone's watching, how they talk to young people and how they especially talk to young people of color. So we have right now mostly, hanging out at the plaza there, Oscar Grant Plaza, we have mostly young people, and we have mostly people of color, and they're being quite mistreated. It would be helpful to have people who are older, more seasoned, and not people of color down there with them. I've also watched how the police wait until that is exactly the case before they move in. It's pretty insidious. It's helpful to be there and being part of the community, participating in GAs, to just add in, be part of the conversation, adding that experience and institutional knowledge into whatever conversations that are going on. Overall, I find that folks there are very receptive as long as they don't feel that they're being preached to, which is pretty standard human behavior. And even and if one doesn't feel comfortable doing those 2 things, then the Green Party needs to be on the internet, on the phone, on YouTube, screaming bloody hell at the amazing injustice that's taking place on a daily basis in Oakland. The police are targeting young people, arresting them without reading them their rights, physically assaulting them, slamming them to the ground, dragging them off, and taking them off to jail without any charges being pressed against them, holding them for 3 days, and then releasing them. This is wildly illegal stuff. And no matter how anyone feels about what the occupiers are doing, as American citizens, I really believe we should be hysterically outraged. And the fact that we're not is something that's really, really puzzling to me too. So, those are my 3 levels of participation that I would like to share with you, and I think I want to stop there, and I want to, answer whatever questions and look forward to seeing a lot more Green Party energy taking place in our Bay Area occupations. It's not just Oakland, there's Berkeley, they're all over the place, and they all need a strong, progressive, mature energy. I hope that you can provide that.
Do you want